As AI continues to shape the way we work, redefines roles, and transforms the value of certain skill sets, a valid question stands to be answered. Could AI replace human employees? While CEOs have been utilizing AI for some time, the dawn of tools like ChatGPT has made it easier than ever for companies to speed up manual processes and even automate certain types of knowledge work. A recent study found that half of CEOs believe they may replace jobs with AI, but on the other hand, most companies do not want to gain the reputation of replacing employees with AI. I'm now joined by Brendan Caldwell, Director of Caldwell Securities Limited, to discuss the impact AI could have on people's employment. Brendan, thank you for joining me.
Actually, Brendan couldn't make it. This is Brendan's avatar.
Now, experts estimate that AI agents could replace or impact 300 million jobs by 2030. What are the implications of replacing a human workforce?
Well, the implications can be both good and extremely disruptive. You go back 200 odd years, and when the Industrial Revolution first came and the cotton gin was first introduced, one could fairly say there's going to be no more jobs for weavers. Weavers will not have work anymore, and it was true. But people found other work to do. So disruptive, yes. People that have done a particular job in a particular way for years or decades may, as we've seen many times before, find the introduction of a new technology very disruptive. However, for the younger generation, I think we even talked about last week, it could be a huge opportunity because whatever job that a computer is clever enough to do that may not have been that interesting for a human being, the new generation can reinvent themselves and do something more interesting, more cool, more productive, using the technology that they've grown up with, rather than they've had to adapt to later in life.
And how will the integration of AI agents impact your industry?
Well, it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see. From the point of view of just getting a simple question answered, do you really need a person on a phone to answer a question about what the TFSA limit, tax-free savings account limit, is for 2024, or what your RSP limit is? I think in our industry, or in people that answer questions about our industry, whether they're be in private practice or at the government level, I think the basic customer service job could be vulnerable when it comes to asking those specific questions, to having someone be able to do that. Well, you can largely do that online with a keystroke now. It just might be nice to have a human or human-esque voice to handle it. Whether it goes beyond that remains to be seen, because I do think technologies take decades to implement, 40 years really from the implementation of a technology to its total adaptation. When they first invented the internal combustion engine, there were horse-drawn plows on farms, but it wasn't, when they brought those in and the first tractors in the 1890s, it wasn't really till the 1930s or beyond. So that you had motorized tractors everywhere, at least everywhere in the Western world. So it will be a transition process over years, if not decades.
Now, you mentioned customer service, but of the effective jobs, customer service representatives are among the first to likely be replaced. How are you currently handling customer service at Caldwell Securities?
Well, we're going to double down. We are doubling down on the in-person, on the tactile, on being actually there. Because I think going forward, for the high-end investment management, for the high-end wealth management, family office, or any high-end business, the in-person will be the new luxury good. I think it'll be somewhat disruptive, the replacement of customer service here in North America, and probably disruptive at the civil service level. But I think it'll be hugely disruptive overseas in places like India that have built whole economies around providing call centers to the West.
And how do you at Caldwell Securities plan to move forward with your customer service?
Well, again, we had the advantage, God bless the Premier of Ontario, Rob Ford, who had declared financial services an essential service during the COVID years. So we never had to go home for that. And I had 5 adult children, 2 dogs, and a cat living in my house. I wasn't going to work from home. So I think for our point of view, we have had a couple of years jump on the world in terms of doubling down on being in person, using that face-to-face connection, actually going to meetings in person. So yes, we use Zoom as a tool. Possibly there'll be some AI uses in our business. But I think our clients with whom we've had years to decades long relationships still appreciate actually being able to talk to a real person or to meet with a real person, because our job really is to help people articulate their hopes and fears and dreams, because most people would rather have dental surgery than talk about their money. So if we can help people, maybe for the first time, talk about what they hope their money will do for them, it's easier to do that in person. It's easy to do that as a human being, at least as the technology exists now.
Brendan, thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you, Theresa.